It started as a quiet night in Washington, D.C. No gunshots, no screaming headlines, no signs that history was about to change. On June 17, 1972, just after midnight, 5 men were arrested inside an office building known as the Watergate complex. To most people, it sounded like nothing more than a failed burglary, but this was not a normal crime. These men were not stealing money or valuables, they were stealing information, and what they were connected to would soon shake the very foundation of American democracy. The Watergate complex housed the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee. Inside the building, police found cameras, wiretapping devices, sophisticated surveillance equipment, and stacks of cash. The burglars were unusually calm, unusually professional, and unusually well-funded. Investigators quickly realized something wasn't right. Why would burglars break into a political office during an election year? And why did their notebooks contain phone numbers linked directly to the president's re-election campaign? At the center of American power sat President Richard Nixon, a man who appeared politically invincible. He was popular, experienced, and had just won re-election by a massive landslide. The White House immediately dismissed the break-in as a third-rate burglary. Nixon denied any involvement. His aides echoed the same message, and at first, America believed them. But the truth was already moving beneath the surface. Behind closed doors, panic spread through Nixon's inner circle. The burglars were connected to the committee to re-elect the president, unofficially known as CREEP. Campaign money had been used to fund the operation. Payments were made to keep the burglars silent. Evidence was destroyed. Witnesses were coached. This was no longer just about spying on political opponents. It was about an organized cover-up at the highest levels of government. 2 young journalists at the Washington Post, Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, refused to let the story die. While most media outlets moved on, they followed a simple rule: follow the money. What they uncovered was a trail of lies that led closer and closer to the White House. Each article raised more questions. Each answer contradicted the last, and someone inside the administration was clearly desperate to keep the truth buried. As investigations intensified, Nixon tried to maintain control. He projected confidence, dismissing accusations as political attacks, but behind the scenes, his presidency was unraveling. Secret meetings took place late at night. Officials resigned quietly. Others were fired. The walls were closing in. Then came a revelation that stunned the nation. It was discovered that Nixon had secretly installed a taping system inside the White House. Every conversation in the Oval Office, every strategy meeting, every private discussion, all recorded without the knowledge of most people in the room. Nixon believed these tapes would protect him, preserve his legacy. Instead, they became the most dangerous evidence in American history. When investigators demanded the tapes, Nixon refused. He claimed executive privilege, arguing that a president had the right to confidential conversations. This sparked a constitutional crisis. For the first time, America faced a terrifying question: is the president above the law? Public trust began to collapse. Millions watched the Senate hearings on live television. Former aides testified under oath. Some broke down, others admitted crimes. One by one, Nixon's closest advisors were exposed as participants in the cover-up. The image of a strong administration was replaced with one of corruption and fear. Under pressure, Nixon released edited transcripts of the tapes, but they were incomplete, heavily censored, and suspiciously clean. Then, investigators noticed something chilling. On one tape, there was an unexplained gap, 18.5 minutes of erased audio. Nixon's secretary claimed it was an accident. The public didn't believe it. No one believed it. What was said during those missing minutes? The phrase, "What did the president know and when did he know it?" echoed across the country. Protesters filled the streets. Confidence in government reached historic lows. America was watching its leadership fall apart in real time. The Supreme Court eventually stepped in, ordering Nixon to release the full tapes. when they were finally made public, the truth could no longer be denied. One recording, later called "The Smoking Gun," revealed Nixon discussing how to block the FBI investigation using the CIA just days after the Watergate break-in. This was not ignorance. This was not misunderstanding. This was direct involvement. The president had lied to the American people. Support vanished overnight. Members of his own party turned against him. Impeachment became inevitable. For the first time in U.S. history, a sitting president faced removal not for war, not for policy failure, but for criminal abuse of power. On August 8, 1974, Richard Nixon addressed the nation. His voice was controlled, but the damage was done. He announced his resignation. The most powerful office in the world was being surrendered in disgrace. The next morning, Nixon boarded a helicopter on the White House lawn. As it lifted into the sky, he turned and gave a final wave. No applause, no celebration, just silence. An image that would haunt American history forever. But Watergate was more than the fall of one man. It changed how America viewed power. New laws were passed to limit presidential authority. Investigative journalism became a pillar of democracy. The public learned that leaders could lie and that accountability was not guaranteed unless demanded. Even decades later, Watergate remains a warning that democracy does not collapse overnight. It erodes slowly, through secrecy, through fear, through small lies that grow into massive crimes. And perhaps the most disturbing question of all still remains unanswered. If the burglars had never been caught, if the tapes had never existed, would the truth have ever come out? Watergate reminds us that power always tries to protect itself, and unless someone is brave enough to challenge it, history can be rewritten in silence. This was not just a scandal. This was a lesson. And it is a lesson the world can never afford to forget. If you believe history should never be hidden, if you want to understand the secrets that shaped the world, then subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment below. Do you think Watergate could happen again today?